Welcome back, everyone. We hope you're all enjoying yourselves so far and have managed to find some time to meet and greet everyone at your virtual table and raise a glass. We now have our second snapshot presentation.
Hello everyone, I'm Pavol Krasnovský, a CEO at RTSmunity, and today I will speak about using artificial intelligence and low latency infrastructure on the sports betting market. So, as you maybe know, artificial intelligence is not wide use on the betting market, similarly on the other industries like healthcare or financial markets. There are two main reasons behind this. One reason is that we don't have sufficient data. For example, for most of the matches, data is collected manually by scout. So we speak about, let's say, a couple of data which can be collected in real time. And for these data points, you don't need to have a very complex infrastructure or any, let's say, complex mathematical models. So some basic approach like logistic regression or Bayesian regression is enough to be competitive with your odds on the betting market. And same issue is on the risk management side. So still, even today, we have a huge barrier between the punter and bookmaker. This barrier, we call this barrier bet acceptance delay. So for example, during the in-play, when punter want to place a bet, they have just, they need to wait even 5 seconds, 8 seconds, in some situation, even longer. So hence, you don't need to have a very complex infrastructure to handle with this late information. And this is what we realized in 2015 when we founded our company, RTSmunity, which is purely focused on esports betting. Because esports is very different in many cases. First of all, data. So it means that in esports, it's a digital game, so we speak about even hundreds of variables which you observe in real time every second. So I give you an example. If you store all data from all ATP tennis matches from last 10 years, it's the same size of the data which you have from one Dota 2 match. And for processing this data, you just need to have a different infrastructure and even a different mathematical approach. And this is why we founded our company, why we see a huge potential to come up on the sports betting market with something unique, with a very, let's say, sophisticated and complex approach. And today, our company, let me just briefly tell you about our company. We focus on 4 main ideas. It's just odds feeds for esports. So this is the low latency odds feed. Then we are very strong in risk management and trading, as our background is in market making. And also naturally, we haven't seen any game changer even on the sports betting market. We came up on the market with our own sportsbook or iframe solution, which combine all useful features which to be competitive on the market. And naturally, we became, since 2016, liquidity provider for esports on the betting exchanges. Our achievement was revealed by one US tech company, and they asked us for help with the baseball. Because as you maybe know, baseball is very long game, so in average it takes 3 hours. From the betting perspective, it's very boring. And also MLB realized that they need to come up with some unique solution to make baseball more interesting for the punters. Today, in-play markets are derived from 2 statistics, inning and run. Maybe if you are not very familiar with baseball, run means games in tennis. But the huge difference between the run in baseball and games in tennis is the length when this happens. So tennis is the king of the in-play betting, and the reason is that you have an instance market, like next game, which take in average 90 seconds. In a baseball, we speak about 11 minutes to get some result from the current in-play betting market. And on the contrary, we check the MLB market, MLB API, and we realize that they provide a lot of very complex and instant statistics. So for API, which is very advanced, there is no nice solution on the baseball market. Hence, we thought what we can do with this API, and we came up with the idea to offer for our customers ultra-live markets on the baseball market. So what does it mean? To have ultra-live markets, you need to have a unique value proposition, which is based on three main domains. One domain is, of course, real-time data, and then how to process this data. Then mathematical models, because for these complex outputs or markets, in the betting terminology, just a basic statistics approach like Bayesian regression or logistic regression are not enough. And then, of course, low latency infrastructure, because if you want to provide ultra-live market, then you need to have infrastructure where you are able to directly collect this data from the tournaments and then process this data on your servers, make odds, and provide to your end customers. So from UX perspective, when we ask baseball fans what's their vision about the baseball, they just want to see the markets where they can place bets on their favorite batters or pitchers. And hence we started to use our unique value proposition to come up on the market with such a solution. So, as mentioned, today, if you want to place a bet, in average resulting of the in-play market, it's around 11 minutes. So we are coming up on the market with markets which are resulted even faster, like market the specific batter, which is their first base, second base, third base, or home. So we were able to cut the length of resulting from 11 minutes to already to 3 minutes. But we decided to go even further because MLB API is amazing, and it allows you to provide comprehensive data. Hence, we decided to, in the near future, to provide a market which is based on pitch location. So MLB infrastructure is able to collect where the ball is located during the pitch. So what does it mean from the betting perspective? From the betting perspective means that you have a great market for in-play punters. First of all, this market in average is resulted in 30 seconds. Then you have a market with more than 2 or 3 selections. So from the betting perspective, this market, for instance, we speak about the market with even 12 selections. So what does it mean? It means that from the bookmaker perspective, they can just apply very wide margin across the selection. So the profitability of such a market, which such a high number of selections, is very welcome. So today, with MLB great API and with a very sophisticated unique value proposition, we are able to provide unique and fast resulted markets, and we are able to make from current baseball pretty boring betting market very comprehensive market. And maybe in the future, when this market will be comparing with the video, this can even compete with tennis. And as mentioned before, this unique market we are able to do because of our unique value proposition, which is based on 3 main fields. One is real-time match data. This is the most important thing which we learned from esports, where we need to process even 100 data points every second, which is a huge difference comparing with the traditional sports, where you have only a few data points each minute from scouts, like in case of Premier League or ATP tournaments, or the sports like ice hockey or basketball. And then low latency infrastructure. So today, if you speak with established B2B providers, they have scouts at the stadiums, they manually collect data, and then they send this data to their servers, for example, in London. And then from this server, they distribute this data to their customers. So it takes, let's say, ages to get a fast data. And this kind of data is just not useful for betting, or in some cases, you need to put a huge bet delay, which means low revenue, or you can not offer a nice instant market. So hence, what we did is that we applied our Amazon infrastructure, which we use for collecting esports data from Dota 2 tournaments. This is the example, for example, from Dota 2 tournaments, where we try to cooperate directly with most of the tournaments and use our Amazon infrastructure, because Amazon cloud infrastructure is located around the world. So sometimes if you want to collect data from New York, you just use the cloud from Amazon, which is located close to this location. And then you can collect data directly to this cloud, process this data directly on this cloud, and then you don't need to have an additional phase where you need to send this data to your local servers, for example, in London, but you send this data directly to your end customers. And even on the top of that, as I mentioned, that we are a data science company with very deep knowledge in artificial intelligence, we directly send not only data, but also odds from these servers, because this data we process in real time and compute based on the artificial intelligence approach various market or various odds in real time. And this is where we feel very strong and very unique, because we don't need to use additional phase or some manual inputs. Because of this, we speak about the huge latency. So today, what is the output from this case situation for MLB is that the outputs from MLB matches, for example, from New York, we are able to deliver to our end customers in less than 400 milliseconds. Not only data, but also the updates of the odds. And as was mentioned, like this, our infrastructure enable us to scale the esports infrastructure also on national, like baseball. And due to this great infrastructure, we are able to provide very comprehensive markets also on the also for the traditional sports like baseball, and make the baseball even more interesting for the in-play punters than currently the baseball is. So as mentioned, through this infrastructure and our unique value proposition, which especially includes processing data and modeling this data through complex deep learning algorithms to provide a very, let's say, instant market, like pitch locations. And as was already mentioned, all this process, so it means from collecting data from API to process this data and to update the in-play odds, this all infrastructure take us less than 100 milliseconds. So hence, as mentioned at the beginning, so today, even for our trading solution for esports, we guarantee that we don't use bet delay for in-play. And this is the unique value proposition which enable us to make such huge steps on the sport betting markets and to provide even better UX experience for Panthers, because as you know, like bad delay is maybe one of the most disturbing things for Panthers, and also not very transparent, as you know. And as was mentioned, this unique value proposition was able to bring on the market new markets which cut the resulting for the current markets, which are based on the statistics like inner and rights, from 11 minutes to 30 seconds in case of pitch location. And this is what also MLB recently realized, where currently, as you maybe know, like baseball struggles with a nice number of viewers. So MLB tried to do a lot of new things to make the baseball even more engagement for the Panthers, and even for the new generation, like millennials or Gen Z, to make the baseball more impressive. Because, for example, if you compare baseball, which we speak about the 3 hours game, with only a couple of, let's say, results, comparing with Dota 2 or Counter-Strike, which is a very fast game with a volatile odds, which is the most incentive part from the trading perspective for Panthers. So MLB now consider to come up on the market with some unique proposition which will be able to attract even young generation. And as mentioned, together with our proposition, I think that the best way to make baseball even more popular than today for Panthers is to offer for Panthers just a better experience, which means for the Panthers to make or to allow them to place a bet instantly, because the Panthers just like to place a bet instantly and to get a result instantly and to make a huge turnover on these sports. It was a pleasure for me to be a part of this session. Take care, and now the next session is awards.